Bill, are you all right? It looks pretty bad out there.
I think so. Gee, talk about static discharge.
How did you know that's what we're going to talk about today? Did you know that the parts we work on here are very sensitive to it?
You mean they don't like thunderstorms either?
No, I mean they're sensitive to static. Okay, remember the video we saw yesterday? The one where the missile went out of control and crashed?
Oh, you mean the video on static discharge?
Right. Well, it crashed because of a failure of a diode that was damaged by electrostatic discharge.
Yeah, but what does that crash have to do with us?
ESD isn't always a giant spark like lightning. It can be as simple as the shock your brother gave you after scuffing on the carpet, or the shock you get when you reach for the light switch. Electrostatic discharge is that transfer of stored electricity on surfaces like plastics, clothing, even your own body. You can increase static electricity by rubbing two things together, anything, but you don't have to rub to increase the static charge. In fact, a simple movement can increase ESD, like the movement of these instructions, or pulling out the tape. That's all it really takes.
Wow. So you're saying the little bit of static on a person can flow between the things he touches, and that's enough to damage them?
Exactly. Pretty wild, huh? Well, see these pictures? This is a component that was damaged by ESD. Here it is magnified 5,000 times. Now, it may look unimportant, but it was damage like this that caused the missile to go out of control and crash. The failure analysis lab gets several of these a week, and more when the weather is cold and the air is drier.
That sounds like science fiction to me. But Jill, if ESD is everywhere, how are we ever going to get it under control?
It all starts with receiving and inspection. The people who get the ESDS parts first, and the people who repackage and distribute them. If it's to be put under control, it has to start with them, and that can only be done with training. You know, it seems like every little thing is so important, but it's really quite easy. With proper training and getting set in some basic routines, then it's a snap.
But if everyone has to go through training, won't it take years to get this place under control?
With 2 levels of training, it won't take long at all. Level 1 is for any person who passes through an ESDS area or who handles the package-protected ESDS devices. It's more like a let's get acquainted session rather than actual training. Once you pass Level 1, you'll receive a silver sticker for your badge. Level 2, where you'll receive a gold badge sticker, is much more extensive. It's for people who actually work at ESDS workstations and who handle the unprotected ESDS devices. People that don't have a badge sticker must have a Level 2 certified escort.
Excuse me. You were saying, it starts with receiving and inspection.
Right. Material handling is so important, like packaging. What do you know about the 2 kinds of packaging?
Well, let me see. Well, like we learned in the film yesterday, there's primary and secondary. First, primary packaging is the critical packaging used to shield ESDS parts. Secondary packaging is used to transport, store, and cushion primary packaging.
Right. That's very good, Bill. Okay, take a look at this and tell me what you see.
That's correctly packaged, but it hasn't been sealed. You know, it looks to me like static could get in if anything were to touch that. You know, ESD is very sneaky. Like an impatient child at Christmas time. That present isn't taped shut, they'll be in it in no time.
Primary packaging should always be sealed with an ESDS sticker, closure clip, or heat sealed or ziplocked when it's not being worked on.
Yeah, I know. No staples or paper clips. Just basically stick with those 4 methods you just said.
It has to be closed. You can't just use it like a pot holder or a drape.
Jill, please, let's not talk about food. My stomach is growling already. When are we going to go to lunch?
This is an anti-static bag. It doesn't generate charges the way clear plastics do. It's much better to have all the small kitted parts that aren't ESD sensitive and the paperwork come in the anti-static bags. You should always use it whenever you can.
I have a question. Now, what's the difference between this and the shielding bag? They're both anti-static, right?
Here, let me show you the difference. First, I'll put this handy little static meter in the shielding bag. I'll seal it. Now I'll just zap it with static. See, the meter doesn't move at all. Now I'll put the static meter in the anti-static bag. I'll close it. Now I'll just give it the same amount of static.
Look at that meter go. Now, that bag doesn't shield at all.
Right. The anti-static bags are never to be used as primary packaging.
But now, look. Now, these bags are different. The labels aren't the same. How am I supposed to know what's sensitive and what's not?
If they have these stickers on them. This one is like that caution sign over there.
And that's just like the symbol on my gold card.
If it has any of these stickers on it, it should be treated as an ESD sensitive part.
Jill, I feel funny, sort of jumpy. I think it was that storm this morning. That one bolt was very close.
No wonder you feel that way. You're a walking disaster area. Look at you. Static electricity is literally crawling all over you.
You can see it?
Well, not exactly, but it's there. That's why we wear our wrist strap grounded to our mats. That way they continuously drain the static from our bodies. Listen, the human body has great potential for storing static electricity.
I'm not sure I understand.
Think of electricity as water. You know how water likes to level itself? Well, electricity is the same way. Picture this. When you touch something, electricity passes between your body and the object you touch. Now, depending on who has more of it stored, the larger amount will flow more readily.
Oh, you're saying electricity stored on me will flow between me and anything I touch?
Yes. Think of electricity as lazy. It will always take the path of least resistance, the easy way out. Well, that's what our wrist strap provides for us, the path of least resistance. The static electricity travels through the strap, out the cord, onto the mat, and onto the ground. That way, we can touch the unprotected ESD parts without harming them. Here, let me show you how to wear yours.
I don't need any help. It works fine just the way it is.
Oh, you think so, do you? Well, let's just test that thing. I'll show you how good it works hanging around your neck. First, I'll just test mine. Okay, now you test yours.
Hey, what's wrong with this thing? It must be broken.
Here, put it on this way.
All right, why isn't it working yet?
You're not making a good connection. Here, try some of the lotion.
Really, I don't want that. You know, this isn't too bad.
There now, you're properly grounded.
You know, I feel great. Well, let's go.
Well, you do look better, but where are we going?
To our workstations. You do know what an ESD station is.
Of course I do. An ESD station is designated by a certified mat, caution sign, and grounded wrist strap. I can't believe this.
What's wrong now?
I just figured it out.
Figured what out? What's the problem?
I just figured out why we've been having so much rework.
Well, what am I doing now that's bothering you?
Remember what I said about static electricity being on plastics?
Wait a minute. Don't tell me. We're going to put little wrist straps on all the ICs.
That plastic cover is a high generator of static electricity. And when you move it around, that friction increases the buildup of static. The small squeeze bottles, the tool handles, well, the things you work with are okay, but that plastic cover shouldn't be up here. Neither should any of these unmarked plastic bags. All this other stuff. What's this, a picture of your wife? Doesn't need to be here. You only need the things you work with.
Wait a minute. I'll take it from here. All my personal stuff, this large plastic cover should be as far away as possible, right? And all the equipment I work with should be tested for ESD. You're still frowning. I left something out? Oh, I put the board down on my notebook. It should be in contact with the mat so the mat can drain any static just like the wrist strap.
Yes, you can put it up here or here. Just don't let it come in contact with the ESDS parts.
Okay. You know, actually, this ESD stuff isn't that hard. Just remember, take care of yourself.
Your wrist strap.
And take care of your workstation.
Tested mat, no large plastics.
Excuse me, what do you think you're doing?
I'm just checking your work.
A static cop, I need a static cop. I'm sorry, you have to have a gold badge sticker to work at this station, and you have to be strapped up. These are sensitive parts.
Oh, is that right?
That's right. You better go to class and get certified. Then when you're grounded, you can check these parts.
Phil, you really handled that one well. It's so important for you to watch over your own workstation. And the people with level 1 training must remember they must never touch an unprotected ESD part. You know, you can take all of the precautions in the world, and then someone can come along and spoil everything with just one touch.
You know, after all of this, training how to handle materials, controlling the static on me and my workstation, you still haven't told me why we have to do all this.
The most important reason, because we want to build the best product. And by keeping ESD under control, you can do that. You'll know that the products you send out will be free of any electrostatic discharge flaws. If we as a company didn't follow these procedures, then our product wouldn't be any good and our customers would take their work elsewhere, and then we would be out of a job.
Oh, no. I like my job. ESD is not getting past me.
ESD control has become an industry standard. Everyone's doing it. The government has set specifications, and we comply with those specifications. So by following the basic things we just talked about, ESD can be held in check. Whether you're in manufacturing, maintenance, design, or management, controlling ESD is your responsibility.
Be part of our team. Help reduce ESD. Remember, only you can prevent ESD.